This mainly is because of the flaw in the collegium system. And in the lower judiciary, you find more women only because they are only there on merit. Because higher judiciary, you do not have any exams. So on the substantial portion of judges who are dominated from the bar are mainly men, not women. We are a country which is polarized by people from the higher caste, whether it is political arena, judiciary or any other places.
Indian judiciary is often seen as guardian of justice. Representation of women judges in various high courts and Supreme Court was discussed in the Lok Sabha. The Union Law Ministry data reveals women judges contribute to just 14% in the total number of judges in various high courts, and Supreme Court has just only one woman judge. What contributes to this deeper gender imbalance? We are joined by senior advocate Ms. Sudha Ramalingam to understand this issue better. Hello, ma'am. Welcome.
Hello.
Ma'am, the Union Law Ministry has come up with this latest detail saying women judges are just contribute to just 14% in all the high courts in India, and Supreme Court has just only one woman judge as of now. What are the structural imbalances that contribute to this kind of imbalance?
See, the gap itself is mainly because in the higher judiciary, the appointment is through the collegium, which is not based on only merit. It is based on various other issues of your connections and the way you can do your own PRO and get there. So, and even among those who are there, we should actually find out the ratio of people from the lower judiciary who have been promoted and who go there. That is, those who have been appointed as or who serve as district judges would be promoted as high court judges. So that is the way you see that lots of women in the higher judiciary, in the high courts, should be from among those who have been promoted. Those who are actually appointed as high court judges from among the bar, who are women, would be much lower. This mainly is because of the flaw in the collegium system. And in the lower judiciary, you find more women only because they are only there on merit after writing their examinations and passing their exams.
Okay, we have a merit system at the lower judiciary,
Yes.
but that does not fall
Reflect itself
Okay.
in the higher judiciary, because higher judiciary, you do not have any exams. You do not have any other methodology. Of course, there is a small proportion allotted for those who are serving judges as district judges.
Okay.
So from among them, there would be some women, because there would be men and women in the among the district judges who would be promoted.
Okay.
But there is no promotion system as far as people from the bar are concerned. So on the substantial portion of judges who are dominated from the bar are mainly men, not women.
Okay. Right.
Because women do not have that sort of a stepping stone to go and get connected there and be appointed.
And this happens even after 75 years.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The number of, even in the parliament, we do not have real representations unless you have a reservation. Is it not? We have to fight for that. So that is how it is everywhere.
Okay. Ma'am, how about this reservation? Because appointment of judges under Article 124 and 217 does not provide any reservation. Do you think any such constitutional reform should be made to increase the number of women in the higher positions?
At the rate at which we are getting appointed, I think we do need it. Earlier on, of course, the framers of constitution did not find it necessary for the higher judiciary, and they just thought that common sense and rationality would prevail, and it would be a non-prejudicial appointment. But it is not so today. We find it to be more political, more with other extraneous grounds. So I suppose we would have to think about whether we need a reservation here also. Right now, the courts are themselves bringing in a sort of a reservation by even among the bar council elections.
Okay.
And bar association elections, we are now being thrust with judgments where women have got to be also accommodated at certain numbers. So I suppose when that is done for even bar association or bar council election, why not you do it also for the judiciary? And we have many number of women who are competent to be appointed as High Court and Supreme Court judges.
Okay. Many high courts have just zero or negligible women judges. How does the absence of women in those higher positions work for the justice delivery system?
It shows that there would be less sensitivity to matters with relating to women. A proportional representation of women would also bring in a balance in the views of the judiciary itself. So the justice delivery system itself ought not to be only male oriented.
Okay.
That is the reason why we want OBCs, we want BCs, we want Dalits, we want representation of the marginally downtrodden also. So are women, and women form 50% of the population, and you say that you will not hear their voice. Their voices ought to be there in the judiciary.
Okay, but what kind of magic will women judges bring? What would change if we have the higher representation of women as judges?
I would not think that there is any magic at all. I do not attribute any special powers to women, but definitely a perspective, oh, the women's perspective may be better. We have had Justice Prabhas Sridevan, who spoke about how women's role in the at home will also have to be taken into consideration when you're thinking about compensating somebody. Is when there is an accident, let me say, and you want to think about what their compensation was, when you're talking about their merit, generally you take the merit of the person, the amount that they would earn,
The kind of employment,
they were doing, and the contribution. So the contribution of a woman at home was thought of by Prabha, not by
okay.
many others. So that way it would be interesting. But before her, Justice Satyadev spoke about it. So it is not only women who would talk in favor of women or vice versa. We know how all-known police stations sometimes act very miserably. So it's not just women, but women will have to be there. They have to be proportionally represented.
Okay, okay.
There are no miracles. I do not expect miracles at all. Let's be pragmatic.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how women get to be seen in large numbers in the lower judiciary in the recent years. We are seeing many women judges in the lower courts. How come they are climbing to those positions? How tough or how easy is it?
See, you look at any results which are being published for academics, +2 results, or any other graduation or post graduation, you always find women scoring better,
Okay.
more percentage of women coming up,
Okay.
passing the examinations. Likewise, lower judiciary has got examinations. The TNPC and conducts the examinations, and then what happens? They score well. They get appointed as district municipal magistrates or sub-judges, or even there is direct appointment of district judges. So they are able to score well on the basis of their merit, and on the basis of their merit they are coming there. They compete equally with men, and men do not perform as well as women in their examinations. So there is no stepping stone through any other political pull and push for the lower judiciary up to the district judges level. So they are able to perform very well. That's why I said, because they are there in the district judiciary, and those persons who are coming up on this from the judiciary, when they are appointed to the high courts from the lower judiciary, from the as district judges are being promoted, you will find more number of women.
Where do you think these reforms should start, and what kind of important reforms we need?
See, there should be, first of all, there should be a willingness on the part of the judiciary itself. Who recommends and for appointment of high court judges, it would be the chief justice of the particular state. As far as high courts are concerned, the chief justice and the two senior most judges of that high court are those who pick up and choose those persons who would be recommended to be appointed as a high court judge. Likewise, in the Supreme Court, the chief justice of the Supreme Court and two senior most judges there pick up, choose, and then they recommend for being elevated. So, and the state, that is through the president, the appointment comes through. This is how it goes. So unless they are sensitized and they feel the real need, there's not going to be any big change as far as the collegium is concerned. So that is the reason why they are also thinking about the national judicial examinations itself. They say that there should be a national judicial commission appointed, and appointments could come through like IAS, IPS and others come through UPSC. There could be a judicial commission also, National Judicial Commission, NJC. This is being talked about for a long. So, but there's a lot of resistance for this. This is always there is an interest in continuing a status quo. When people at the higher places enjoy certain amount of prerogative by acting with their own prejudices.
Okay. Ma'am, when we look at the figures, even the composition of SC, ST, and backward class people in the higher judiciary is very less. It's just 15%, and about close to 80 to 85% of the higher positions in the Indian judiciary is being dominated by people from the forward castes. How do you look at this
Yeah,
composition?
we are a country which is polarized by people from the higher caste, whether it is political arena, judiciary, or any other places. So wherever there is a possibility of coming up through nepotism, through other means than merely only merit, we find that people with possibly with power or access to power are able to really cling on and get up very easily. Whereas people who are not from that rung, it's very difficult for them to climb up. That's the reason why we need to handhold them. That's the reason we have reservation. That's the reason why Constitution itself, when speaking about equality, also provides for reservations. So I suppose if we are not going to get equal uh, representation through the ordinary means, we should definitely think about reservation there also.
Ma'am, what do you think about the elevation of Justice Ms. Nagarathna to the Supreme Court? She is the only woman judge in the Supreme Court as of now. What was her contribution in the recent years?
Yeah, she'll shortly next year become the Chief Justice also, but it will be for a very, very short period. She is one of the finest judges whom we can see in the judiciary. In fact, she has been bold enough to give very good judgments also. She has given dissenting judgments also.
She'll be the first woman Chief Justice of the Supreme
Yes,
Court.
as far as Chief Justice is concerned,
Okay.
if she is really promoted, because she will be the first woman Chief Justice, but she will be occupying the position only for a very, very short while because of the age restriction. She has given the dissenting judgment as far as demonetization is concerned. In fact, just because she's a woman, she does not really only support women. So it's something very heartening to see how she, in matrimonial disputes, she goes on to emphasize that criminal law should not be abused, and Domestic Violence Act also should not be abused to bring in all the
Complaints,
fake
fake
complaints,
cases.
everything, and not to bring all other relatives who are not even a part of their family system itself. So we find that a
Probably she
woman,
considered both men and women as equal, and
yes,
she
yes,
thought women should not abuse the law.
yeah, she speaks about accountability, about against corruption, about transparency, everything in her judgments. Her judgments are really very nice to read. The problem is we don't look at her
As a woman judge.
yeah, we ought not to also look at her as only a woman judge. I feel you have to look at all these people as judges, also bringing in fresh air and fresh thoughts because of their upbringing as a woman.